So today we're going to be looking at shape of our data. And that's easiest to see when we're looking at dot plots or histograms. You could also see the shape of a data in a box plot or some other displays, but the dot plots and histograms that we've been looking at are great ways to examine the shape of the data. So when we're looking at our data, there's different ways to describe it. We've looked at describing the center, and you describe the center of the data with the mean, median, and mode. Today we're going to look at the shape of data, and the shapes are easiest to see in dot plots and histograms. First shape we want to talk about is uniform. Just like when you wear a uniform to school, everyone's wearing the same thing or almost the same thing. A uniform data distribution is where all the values are about the same. You can see these examples. Here everything is exactly the same. Or in this example, they're not exactly the same, but they're pretty close. Just little bits of up and down. Everything is pretty much the same, so this is a uniform data set. Symmetric. Symmetric has to do with when it's the same on both sides, and we have a line of symmetry. So if we made a line here, this would be our line of symmetry, you can see that it's a mirror image on the right and the left. Or if you folded it on this line, these would match. Now this one is perfectly symmetrical, as well as this one, but they can be close to symmetrical. Typically we see them with the peak in the middle, but you can also be symmetrical if it's U-shaped. Right skewed. When we have fewer data points on the right side, the tail of the data is towards the right, we call it right skewed. This would be like a tail. Or here on our dot plot, here are numbers and then they tail off to the right. So that is right skewed. So left skewed is the same kind of thing, but it tails to the left. Here on our histogram, you can see the data values tail off to the left. And here in our dot plot, the values tail off to the left. So we've looked at some different shapes. We've looked at uniform, symmetric, and right and left skewed. Those are the ones that we're going to be learning in 6th grade. There are more data shapes that you'll learn as you go further into statistics, but for this year we want to be sure that we can distinguish between uniform, symmetric,